Doug, you said in your last week, in your bio, that you described yourself as a high priest since 1970. Now, to the Christian, the book of Hebrews tells us in the Old Testament, so you're a fan, you love the Old Testament, there was only one high priest ever. And when he died, then there was another high priest to take his place. And that high priest was the one who was nominated to go in once a year on the Day of Atonement and to do all the blood atonement and everything else. And so Hebrews plainly tells us that Jesus now, by his own blood, enters once and for all into the Holy of Holies, offering his blood once and for all, not as beggarly men going in offering it once a year, and that the blood of sheep and goats cannot cure sin, but that Jesus does it, and he is our high priest. Now, you as a high priest, do you see Jesus as your high priest too?
Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. What Paul was doing was teaching what Jesus had established in the Old Testament as a model to teach them so that they would know when he came that they make that comparison, see, so that he'd be able to do that. But the one high priest in the house of Israel was due to the fact that they had rejected the law and they had the lesser law. So the Lord gave them this law where they only had the one high priest who went into the temple once a year and did what he did in order to, because he said they had such a hard heart. But that's not the way it was before the days of Israel. Before the days of Israel, there were high priests like Abraham, for instance. He never went into any temple. There were high priests like Melchizedek that Abraham paid his tithes to. There was Enoch. There was Noah. They were all high priests.
Where do you get that Noah, Enoch, and Abraham were high priests?
From modern revelation.
From Joseph Smith.
Yes.
Okay, and so then he has subsequently passed on this form of this Melchizedek priesthood to make high priests now. Do you have any problem calling yourself a high priest, realizing how Hebrews describes Jesus as the great high priest?
He is the great high priest, but this is the church that he said he would establish if we wouldn't harden our hearts. So that's why.
So, okay, all right.